Game 5 is over.
Mm-hmm.
They're going back to Cleveland. I would say the Gun Arena, but the Gun's a decade ago or 2
Yeah, that's
decades
a
ago.
long time ago.
They
That's
called it the
Craig
Gun
Elo
Arena a long
days.
time ago.
Yeah.
Cavaliers, Game 6. You said 7 games, so I'm going to see what you're going to say. Who's going to win this game and why?
Detroit showed me a lot of who they were versus Orlando. And in those games that were ugly, you saw a team who struggled to score at times. And that is the primary reason why I picked Cleveland in the first place is Cleveland is not, their issue is not going to be scoring. Their issue is going to be making sure that on the defensive end, they show up consistently. Because if they do that, they're still one of the more complete teams in the league. More complete than Boston, more complete than obviously Philly was hobbling in against the Knicks. And I think they actually have, just as much firepower in the East as a Knicks team who's sitting there waiting. So for me, I think the game doesn't become a shootout by any means because I don't know that Detroit can hang if that's the case. I do think it's going to be more of an ugly game. I think Detroit is going to have that sense of urgency, come back with some vengeance. You'll see Cade potentially not score 39, but maybe score 26, 27. And then the difference of that, maybe 13 points or so gets distributed amongst a Jenkins. Maybe Doran shows up and Tobias. I can't see having another game like that. So, you know what? I'm okay with staying with my prediction because my prediction has played its way out. I think Detroit takes game 6. I think everybody gets back on the bandwagon like it's an up and down start. And then I think Cleveland comes back in and does what it does in game 7 and shows the experience factor in the playoffs. They've been at this point before. They've seen what it's like to be on the other side. Detroit is still learning how to win. And I don't know that they've fully figured that out yet. Plus, like we just said, they got THC. Right? Tobias can't get right, can't shoot, can't score. He will not in game 7. Things will be tight. Things will be tight. The air will feel very thin up there. And there ain't gonna be too much more of that Detroit basketball unless they're taking it out from a 3 in their face. So I'm still sticking with Detroit 6, Cleveland in 7, and they walk it off like LeBron did whenever LeBron scored all them points in a row and put them boys to bed and took over the
He
East.
scored 25 points in a row. We want to be honest. I remember that like it was yesterday. All right. Hey, well, before I get into this one, the last thing I forgot to say about that game, I'm not going to make it. That's why I didn't want to make it a big deal. But my man got fouled. He should have been on that. He should have been on that foul line with 1.2 seconds left. I had a shot to win the game. Hey, you call a foul at the beginning, you call a foul at the end. Come on, Tony Brothers, help a brother out.
Tony's
I
not
can't stand
calling
Tony
that.
Brothers.
He knows better. He'd have been crucified for that call because now you're giving a team the game. Let the players decide the game. That's why it went to overtime. They had a chance to win overtime.
And you know what? And I was okay with overtime. Like I said, I'm not going to make it a big deal because they had a chance to win in overtime. You had a chance to win in regulation. So I'm not going to make it a big deal.
And you were up 9 with like 3 minutes to go. So
yeah, they were up
you
9
lost
with 3
that
minutes
game
to
more
go.
than the
You're
refs
right.
gave that game away.
You're right. The refs didn't give the game away.
That's
I
right.
told you, Cavs won that game. I give them that. The Cavs won. The Cavs took that game away.
They walked into the track. They took over the track. That's what happened.
And it became their track. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. They planted their flag.